You enjoy sex. I enjoy sex. Most people enjoy sex. But what types of sexual activities are people actually interested in? I'm Dr. Rena, a urologist and pelvic surgeon. Today, I'm going to walk you through the top 10 sexual activities people report enjoying, based on a large nationwide study. So if you're curious about what's common, or simply wondering what others are doing, stay with me because a few of these results may really surprise you. Before we get into the top 10, let me quickly explain where this information comes from. Researchers studied more than 2,000 adults across the United States. Out of them, 975 were men and a little over 1,000 were women, all participating in an online survey. The survey was completely confidential, and the research company aimed to include participants who represented the overall US population in terms of age, gender, race, and other demographics. Participants answered questions about their sexual behaviors, what activities they found appealing, and their current relationship status. In the end, the survey provided a helpful snapshot of what many Americans are doing and what they tend to enjoy. One quick note, about 91% of the people who took part in the survey identified as heterosexual. Because of that, the results may not fully represent everyone. So let's dive in. Here are the top 10 sexual activities that Americans report. Number 1, no surprise here, is vaginal sex. This is the most common activity. About 88.5% of men and 91% of women say they've had vaginal intercourse and continue to do so regularly when they have a partner. Number 2 is masturbation. More than 80% of both men and women say they have masturbated at some point in their lives. In the past month alone, about 64% of men and 41% of women reported masturbating. For many people, masturbation can be a sensitive topic. I've actually discussed it before on this channel, including questions like how often someone should masturbate and when it might be considered too much. And the truth is, there's no single perfect answer. But regardless of personal opinions, it's clear that many people practice masturbation for solo pleasure. Number 3 is oral sex. Both giving and receiving oral sex are very common, with more than 80% of men and women saying they've taken part in it. I'm often asked whether it's safe. While many people don't think about it, sexually transmitted infections can still be passed through oral sex. If you're unsure about your partner's health status, or they're unsure about yours, using protection like condoms or dental dams can help reduce the risk of infections spreading between the genitals and mouth. Moving on to number 4, another topic that often sparks discussion: watching sexually explicit videos, also known as pornography. Around 82% of men and about 60% of women say they have watched pornography at least at some point. Again, pornography is a topic that often sparks strong opinions, and I've discussed it several times on this channel. Number 5 is wearing sexy lingerie or attractive underwear for a partner. This behavior is naturally reported more often by women. About 75% of women say they've done this at some point. However, around 26% of men also admit that they choose certain underwear specifically for their partner. And honestly, I think this is a great idea. It's a simple way to excite your partner and bring a little novelty into your relationship, especially if it's something you haven't tried before. Number 6 surprised me a bit, and that's sending or receiving nude or partially nude photos. With modern technology, this can make people a little nervous, and understandably so. You really need to trust the person you're sharing those images with, because once something is sent digitally, it's hard to control where it might end up. Still, the data shows that it happens quite often. Around 65% of men and 54% of women say they have either sent or received nude or semi-nude photos. Of course, we're assuming these were consensual exchanges. Number 7 is reading erotic stories. About 57% of people report that they have read erotic fiction at some point in their lives. Interestingly, research suggests that many women tend to enjoy reading erotic stories even more than watching explicit videos. Because of that, if you have a female partner, gifting a romantic or spicy novel might be a fun idea. It could spark interest, create excitement, and even help bring a little extra energy into your relationship. You might even read parts of it together and talk about what you enjoyed, or didn't enjoy, about the story. Number 8 also caught my attention. Intimacy in a public place. Around 43% of people say they've experienced this at least once. From conversations I've had with friends who grew up in big cities, sometimes privacy can be difficult, especially if you live in a small apartment with family members around. That might partly explain why some people have tried this. Of course, there's also the element of excitement or thrill that comes from being somewhere public and the possibility of being discovered. Number 9 is anal sex. According to the survey, about 43% of men and 30% of women report having experienced it. This type of activity can feel pleasurable for some people because the area contains many sensitive nerve endings. For men, the prostate gland can be stimulated, while for women, the clitoris and surrounding nerves are nearby. Because of this, the area can be quite responsive and, for some couples, enjoyable. If you'd like to learn more about anal sex, I've created a few videos on that topic as well. In those videos, I discuss why some women choose to explore anal sex and also explain ways to approach it safely. So if you're curious and haven't looked into it before, those videos might be a helpful place to start. Number 10 is spanking. Around 30% of people say they have tried spanking or being spanked during sex at least once. When scientists study how the body responds, they find that signals for pain and pleasure can sometimes travel through similar pathways in the brain, especially in areas linked to sexual arousal. Because of that overlap, some individuals experience mild pain as pleasurable. This is one reason activities connected to BDSM appeal to some people. They enjoy a small mix of discomfort along with pleasure. Of course, if you ever explore something like this, consent is extremely important. Both partners should clearly agree and feel comfortable with what's happening. You should never spank someone without first discussing it. Even if you're the one asking for it, make sure your partner is comfortable and willing before anything begins. Now let me give you a bonus. Number 11, role-playing and light kink. About 22% of people say they have tried role-playing, around 20% have experimented with tying or being tied up, and about 13% mention playful whipping. So these activities are actually more common than many people think. If you know 10 people, chances are 1 or 2 of them have explored some form of role-play or kink. And that's perfectly okay, as long as it's consensual and both people feel comfortable and enjoy the experience. Another bonus topic, threesomes. Around 18% of men and 10% of women say they've participated in a threesome at some point. When it comes to larger group activities, such as group sex, sex parties, or BDSM gatherings, fewer than 8% of people report trying them. Researchers also discovered that some behaviors related to intimacy, rather than explicit sexual acts, are very appealing to people. Romantic and affectionate actions, like cuddling and kissing, are attractive to both men and women. Men are somewhat more likely to say they find anal sex, group sex, and watching explicit videos appealing, although many still rate those activities as not appealing overall. Women, on the other hand, tend to report higher interest in things like watching romantic movies, enjoying a couple's massage, or using a vibrator. None of these findings are especially surprising to me, but if you were curious, now you have a better idea. The main takeaway is this: people are interested in many different things, and there isn't just one normal way to express sexuality. Hopefully this was interesting for you, either because it reassures you that you're not alone, or because it introduced a few ideas you might want to explore someday. That said, all of this must start with communication. You should never try something new without talking openly with your partner first. Make sure they are comfortable, willing, and feel safe, and that everything happening is fully consensual. And as always, take good care of yourself, because you truly deserve it.